The Schnorrer's Tale. For several months there was a gratified smoothness in the spinning of the wheels of government. People with proposals, grievances about the government, or conflicts requiring mediation went to Bogov, the lazy, disreputable beggar of Chelm, a derelict, to whom it appeared not to make the slightest difference whether he were mayor or not. If somebody wanted to lodge a complaint at the Bogov, he could, in theory, put in a word at the meetings of the learned council. Yet for 2 months, the elders heard of no news of any further disturbances of the public order. Pleased with this lull in the affairs of Chelm, and as a reward to itself for its own cleverness, the council voted itself a month's vacation. Upon its resumption, the citizen came with a grievance to be presented to the assembly of the wise. It was Bogov. "Gentlemen," he said, making a determined effort to behave in a dignified manner, this joke has got to stop. I ain't no more cut out to be the mayor than this louse." He held up the one he'd extracted from behind an ear and crushed it to death between thumb and forefinger. "It is your civic obligation," Rabbi Lefkowitz barked at him. "Let me remind you, Mr. Bogov, that the Torah makes no distinction between civil and religious duties." "Duties, schmooties," Bogov retorted. "First, what can I tell you? It's a disgrace to have someone like me as mayor. And no goodnik, a trombanik. You can't fill a sack with hoils. And all my life I ain't earned so much as one bent kopek. I ain't got kadokas, but let it go. Your disease don't give me no fever. The Talmud says, what I know about the Talmud. I'm lying under a tree sleeping. Schlof is a gonef. I got an empty stomach but makes a noise like an old chazan. Why does poverty whistle? Begging your pardon, learned rabbis, I'm minding my own business. Wenn these two schlemiels, Hyman Rabinovitz and Lev Goldstein, people but the real girls, wouldn't give me the time of day, come running up to me because, like you say, I'm supposed to be some kind mayor, asking me for what else? They want justice. Oh, let me tell you frankly, wise rabbis, I ain't got the least idea what is justice. Who judges the judge? It's in the Talmud. But I'm the mayor. That's the mayor. And because I'm the mayor, I promise to at least to listen. Keep your mouth shut, and people will call you a wise man. Of course, they won't get nothing from me without they pay me, and well, too. So I ask Rabinovitz, you got tourists? Oi, gewollt, learned rabbis right away and screaming and yelling. A großen Tumult with shaking his fist right in my face, mind you. Threats, curses, erupted like I had never heard, and oil my days, so I shall. Ach, dear, this time, sign it. Don't bang the tea kettle. Then I take the Rabinovitz. You first, goodness. So he spins me along, ridiculous yarn, a jump above a nature. Not one bird believes me is true. Reverend Mayor, he begins. I want go kochen. This is Reverend Mayor Michigas. Reverend Mayor, I own a business. And I ask you, learned rabbis, what I got to do with his business, me, but never earned so much as a kick in the pence for cotton wood. But I'm the mayor. So even a broken watch is right twice in the day. So talk already, he begins. Well, Your Honor, my son is a good-for-nothing wastrel, a grauber young who does nothing all day long but play cards and drink up my money. Since he's the youngest of my 3 heirs, I have taken steps to put this man of mine, this farce-bender, I've created out of my will. Bogov paused, then commented, between you and me, learned rabbis, I know his son. From a goose you can't buy oats. Well, he goes on. Lev Goldstein here, on the other hand, has a daughter who, God's ways being mysterious, is in love with my mamzer. Mr. Bogov interrupted Rabbi Abramovich. I would remind you that we are a dignified body and do not tolerate the use of expressions of that sort. I apologize to each and every one of you, although it ain't me but said it. It was Rabinowitz. Begging your pardon, he continues. Goldstein's daughter must marry my son. What can I say about Goldstein's daughter? They bury prettier girls. But all right, Goldstein's daughter. Goldstein informs her that she won't see a penny of any dowry unless my son gets put back into my will, which he can wait until the coming of the Messiah won't happen. Secretly, without either of us knowing about it, this pair of pishers went off to the neighborhood village, wake up the magistrate, a man without scruples who can turn any law or custom to suit his pocketbook, who agrees under Polish law but against all Jewish tradition to marry them on the spot. An elopement. That by itself wouldn't be so bad, except that the very next day there she is, Goldstein's daughter, knocking on my door, demanding my son's inheritance. Now what kind of schlemiel do I have for a son? That's where he ought to have stopped. But this Hyman Rabinowitz, it was all yada, 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 yada. Euch has Drehkopf, with all my fingers stuffed in my ears, he wouldn't stop talking. What I care about him, his geld, or his verschlungene son, neither. Nothable. There they go again. Goldstein breaks in with yelling. Liar, swindler, mangy dog. Reverend Mayor, that's not the way it happened. You see, I can explain. Gay and dread rein, drop dead. I swore, shut up. Then I points to Goldstein, nod my head and say, "Nu, you deaf or what? Speak." Reverend Mayor, Hyman Rabinowitz is a liar. As the Talmud says, there are four enemies of mankind: a liar, a slanderer, a flatterer, and a deceiver. Rabinowitz, and I take King Solomon as my witness, is all of these things. In the first place, he's a liar, because didn't he lie to you